Hello and welcome to CoreTV News this hour. I am Nifemi Oguntoye. The Chibok community in Abuja has denied reports that it collected 100 million largesse during its meeting with President Goodluck Jonathan at the presidential villa last week. Chairman of the community, Sambido Abana, described as false allegations that the largesse was shared among the parents and that some were shortchanged by the leadership of the association. The BBC had reported that the whooping amount was given to the Chibok parents, adding that many of the parents complained that they were shortchanged and given amounts ranging from 200,000 naira to 300,000 naira. He added that the money shared was handed by the presidency officials who gave out envelopes to the parents. Chairman, Kibako Area Development Association, Beatrice Potgu, also described the allegation as false, noting that the money that was shared to the Chibok parents was handed by Asurok officials. Former Federal Capital Territory Minister Nasir El-Rufai on Tuesday morning lost a son, Hamza, in a car crash. The former minister broke the news on his Facebook page at about 8 a.m. on Tuesday. The accident happened at about 5:30 in the morning along the Kubwa Expressway. A source at the Federal Road Safety Commission said the 23-year-old Hamza was driving a black Lexus car which ran into a broken-down vehicle. He added that two other persons were in the car, but only the younger El-Rufai died. Meanwhile, President Goodluck Jonathan has commiserated with the former minister of the Federal Capital Territory, Nasir El-Rufai, on the death of a son. In a statement by Special Advisor on Media and Publicity, Reuben Abati, the president says the outpouring of support at this moment by his friends and associates would comfort El-Rufai. He prayed for the repose of the deceased soul. Scientists under the aegis of the Association of Medical Laboratory Scientists of Nigeria in Cross River State are calling on the federal government to urgently put in place effective emergency response mechanism to prevent the outbreak of the Ebola virus in the country. They made their position known at a one-day workshop in Calabar titled Ebola Virus, an Emerging Global Challenge. Chairman of the association, Gloria Achibong, says it has become imperative for the Nigerian public to be properly educated as the threat was on the increase daily. She appealed to the federal government to ensure that mechanisms were put in place to check the virus in the country. A consultant microbiologist at the University of Calabar, Michael Usey, added that it was time for Nigeria to take the threat of the virus serious. Meanwhile, the Lagos state government has called on Nigerians to be calm and not panic, assuring them that both the state and federal governments are well prepared to ensure that the Ebola virus disease did not spread and that no Nigerian is infected with the virus. Addressing a joint ministerial briefing of the Lagos State Ministry of Health and Federal Ministry of Health, Lagos State Commissioner for Health, Jide Idris, says there has only been one case of imported Ebola, resulting in the death of a Liberian diplomat in Lagos. He added that health authorities are very proactive about the detection of the Ebola virus in the Liberian, who was on his way to Calabar for a conference, by ensuring that all contacts are being actively followed.
Preliminary laboratory investigation conducted by the NCDC A1 Virology Laboratory of Lagos University Teaching Hospital and the World Bank funded African Center of Excellence for Genomics of Infectious Diseases of the Redeemers University detected viral DNA and in both blood and urine samples obtained from the patient, and both were positive for the pan-filovirus analysis and the Ebola Zaire MGB virus strain specific analysis. In conclusion, we can categorically state that as of today, we have only one case of imported Ebola virus and only one death as of now. No Nigerian has been reported infected, but all the contacts of this person are being actively followed. We call on all Nigerians to be calm and not panic, and do hereby assure them that both the state and the federal governments are up in arms to ensure that the virus does not escape and that no Nigerian is infected with this virus.
The president of the Nigerian Academy of Science, Owerri, says all the contact persons are being screened on a continuous basis to look for any possible signs of the disease. He commended the timely action taken by the Lagos State government and the private hospital, adding that there is absolutely no need for the people to panic, as the golden rule is to observe the personal hygiene of always washing their hands
Ebola is still
regularly.
occurring in different parts of West Africa, and people are still coming from there. We must still be on the alert, and until the epidemic is declared completely free from those areas, we must continue to be on the alert. Remember, this is a disease, as we said, it has no drug, no vaccine. What we need is being careful, washing our hands of time, and the hospitals, what they've done so far, continue to do them. And please send a message that there's absolutely no reason to panic about Ebola.
The United States health officials say they are monitoring the Ebola outbreak in Africa. They said the risk of the deadly disease spreading to the U.S. is remote. The Center for Disease Control sent a health alert to U.S. doctors about the outbreak. There are no travel restrictions to the West Africa region hit by the disease. But last month, the center issued a mid-level travel advisory for health workers. 2 American aid workers in Liberia have contracted the Ebola virus, and it has killed the Liberian husband of an American woman who said he could have easily brought the disease home to the U.S. The family of Patrick Sawyer, who died on July 24, recently returned to the U.S. for a visit. The CDC said they were not affected. Officials stressed people are not contagious until they show symptoms, and the Sawyer's family left Liberia days before he fell ill. Sawyer, a consultant for Liberia's finance ministry, collapsed on arrival at Lagos Airport. Nigerian businesses will no longer enjoy duty-free exports to the U.S. if some American senators had their way. As many as 10 senators who were members of the Democratic Party, according to leading online newspaper The Cable, have called on President Barack Obama to move against Nigeria and Uganda over anti-gay laws. President Goodluck Jonathan signed the Nigerian version of the law this year, making it illegal for persons to engage in or promote homosexuality. The senators, led by Christopher Murphy, have highlighted a section of the African Growth and Opportunity Act, AGWA, to make their case against Nigeria, as well as Uganda, which also enacted similar anti-gay laws. Cote d'Ivoire, Madagascar, Guinea, and Niger have lost AGWA eligibility in the past because of military coups. AGWA, authorized in 2000, makes big non-reciprocal incentives for sub-Saharan African countries to expand trade, stimulate economic growth, and integrate into the global economy. These benefits are currently being enjoyed mostly by agricultural and textile exporters, including small and medium-scale businesses. However, the eligibility clause says a beneficiary country must not engage in gross violations of internationally recognized human rights. Gay rights are considered as basic human rights. The senators argued that anti-gay laws severely limit access to healthcare, housing, education, and freedom of expression. Well, gay marriage in Nigeria is a taboo. The federal government of Nigeria has refused to bow to international pressure regarding gay marriages. The bill prohibiting the anti-gay marriage contains penalty of 14 years in prison for anyone caught in the act. Reacting to the pressure from the senators of the United States government for Obama to move against Nigeria over anti-gay marriages, Lagos-based lawyer Festus Keyamo says America is ignorant of Nigeria's norms and culture.
I don't think they are well informed about the disposition of people in Africa to the gay issue. If they are well informed, I don't think they will make that kind of move because in Africa we have a completely different culture and tradition, and if your laws must conform with your natural inclinations. Your laws must conform with your traditions and your culture. I am not saying, take note, that all aspects of our anti-gay law now, they are correct. For instance, you cannot ban gay relationships. You cannot. You can only ban gay marriages. There are two different issues there. You can't say you are arresting me because I've gone into a man's house to sleep with him. Leave me alone. The only thing is that don't offend public sensibilities by not coming out to a registry, calling people, calling a ceremony, say, I want to marry a fellow man or a woman wants to marry. That is offending public sensibility. You can ban gay marriages. In fact, it's already banned because by our Marriage Act, a man cannot marry a man. They say it's a union between a man and a woman. So leave it the way it is. But now to go ahead, our law, so now say you are banning gay relationships. If they see me and you now in the night holding hand, they'll come and arrest us. No, you cannot do that. Leave them. That's their freedom. It's their freedom. So there's something we still need to look at internally too, within our own laws, correct the situation. But after that, you cannot force us to approve gay marriages. I am totally against gay marriages.
A Lagos-based lawyer Festus Keyamo there bearing his mind on gay rights. As Muslims across the world mark Eid-al-Fitr following the end of Ramadan, the chief imam of Osogbo and Governor Rauf Aregbesola led Muslim faithful to this year's prayer. The thrust of the prayer session rests on national unity and peaceful conduct of the much-awaited August 9 governorship election in Osun State. Rashid filed in this report.
With the completion of 30 days mandatory fasting for Muslims, the celebration of Eid al-Fitr is sacrosanct to thank Allah for the success of the holy month. Muslims arrive the prayer ground in their numbers to participate in the Eid prayers. The chief imam of Osogbo, Mustafa Ajishafe, led the Eid prayers. Muslims who participated in the prayers expressed thanks to Allah for sparing their lives throughout the month of Ramadan. They expressed hope that the nation will experience peace and prosperity in the years ahead.
And we thank God for the life of everybody, every Muslim in the country. And what we are experiencing in the north, we pray God in His infinite mercy to come to our aid. We pray that at the end of the day, peace will reign.
Paying attention to the forthcoming election in Osun State, a chieftain of the All Progressives Congress, Bayo Salam, admonishes Osun people to eschew violence. He also advised them to stand firm on their choice while discharging their civic responsibilities.
In another 13 days, we are going to have an elections in Osun State. We expected every Osun indigene to be peaceful in their conduct and at the same time to come and exercise their civic right. There won't be any intimidations. Security agents, they are just coming to protect our votes. Everybody should come out in large turnouts to cast their votes for candidates of their.
Governor Rauf Aregbesola seized the moment by laying out expectations towards the August 9 governorship election.
All Nigerians of whatever faith must imbibe the attributes of tolerance, perseverance, endurance, and forbearance. Those are the things we need now to guarantee security, peace, and stability that will make us to be productive as to the election and believing absolutely in God and the overwhelming support of the people to be triumphant in the election.
Muslims across the world celebrate Eid al-Fitr, which marks the end of Ramadan. It is expected that the lesson of love, mercy, and tolerance imbibed in Ramadan will be extended after it by Muslims and non-Muslims alike, particularly in Nigeria, where these virtues are in great need. Rashid, CoreTV News, Osogbo.
During the regional governors of Obafemi Awolowo in the southwest of Nigeria, the foresight to have a food supply hub for the region was given priority, resulting to settlements like Agowu in Osun State. Rashid takes a look at the functionality of settlements like these and the efforts of government to resuscitate them.
An offshoot of the Elisha Farm Institute graduates of 1960 brought to pioneer the settlement for the purpose of producing food for the Western region, an initiative of the then Western Region Premier, Obafemi Awolowo. The settlement was pioneered with 69 people, but sadly, it can only boast of 2 left. Samuel Adeleke, one of the surviving pioneers, explains how life was then.
Life was very good then, though we lack good roads then because we normally go to Elisha through Ijebu. But life was okay.
Agowu, though still a farm settlement with agriculture at its main occupation, can now boast of considerable population that needs all social amenities, though some residents say the Osun State government is trying its best.
I'm enjoying living here, but we still want government to come and help us to add more to what they have already done for us here. Government provide us electricity with a good road, and we see the water. They provide us water.
With agriculture being the main occupation of Agowu, which shares border with Ijebu-Igbo in Ogun State and Ibadan in Oyo State, residents appeal to the government to do more so as for the settlement to serve its main purpose of being the food hub for the southwest region.
We need so many things in the aspect of education, aspect of health, and even aspect of communication. We need the mask.
So our electricity is not on since ever the electricity has been donated here. So we want them to help us on this matter.
Speaking on the giant strides of the Aregbesola government in boosting agriculture and at the same time checking rural-urban migration, Special Advisor to Governor Aregbesola on Rural Development, Kunle Ige, says the government will not rest on its oars to bring to the people the dividends of democracy enjoyed.
I think we've virtually touched the lives of virtually every citizen in rural areas in the state of Osun. We've done quite well touching the rural areas. And as you've discovered, we don't even call some rural anymore, we call them semi-rural. Because again, communities are developing at quite a rapid rate in Osun State. We've done the best we can under the circumstances that we find ourselves. We've done quite well touching the rural areas.
Advocates of food security say adequate food supply can only be guaranteed when centers like these are properly funded and modern crops injected so as to promote modern farming for bumper harvest. Rashid, CoreTV News, Ago.
Stories from outside Nigeria are next, coming up shortly after this break.
CoreTV News now provide a platform for live coverage of political rallies and electioneering campaign from anywhere in Nigeria. Political news stories, political editorial reviews, political discussions, personality profile, People's Parliament from the National, State and Local Government Assembly. Contact us now on 0803-471-8550 or 0803-724-9733. 01453-3407.
Our 24-hour news station. You can now watch CoreTV News live from anywhere in the world on our website www.coretvnews.com. Click on Live TV on our website and watch us live.
And welcome to CoreTV Primetime News.
To follow us on Twitter, click on Twitter icon on our website. On Facebook, click on the Facebook and YouTube to see all our previous news production. You can also watch us live on YouTube. Click CoreTV, leave a space, then News. CoreTV News, our 24-hour news station.
Welcome back. The only power plant supplying electricity to the Gaza Strip was knocked out of commission by Israeli Shalom, Deputy Director of the Energy Authority in the Palestinian territory, has said. Fathai al-Sheikh Khalil says the power plant has stopped working due to Israeli shelling, which damaged the steam generator and later hit the fuel tanks, setting them on fire. The damage of the power plant exacerbated the heavy damage to civilian infrastructure in Gaza, already inflicted during the 22 days of the Israeli offensive aimed at stamping out militant rocket fire and destroying attack tunnels. Besides the power plant, Gaza also purchases electricity from Israel, but many of the supply lines have been badly damaged by the recent fighting. In an address to youth leaders from the African continent, United States President Barack Obama says the future stability of the world depends on African nations achieving prosperity and self-reliance. Obama promised to host U.S.-Africa Leaders Summit next week. He said it will be the largest gathering any American president has hosted with African heads of state and government. The meeting is expected to bring around 50 African leaders to Washington, with the exception of pariah figures from Zimbabwe's Robert Mugabe and Sudan's Omar al-Bashir. Obama announced plans for the major summit in June last year during his first major tour of African countries. Asked what Africa can do for itself, Obama underlined the importance of the rule of law, of respect for civil rights and human rights. And that wraps it this hour on CoreTV News. I'll be back at 9:45 with the primetime news. Stay with us.